Good morning everyone. Quilts in the cupboard. I think it's probably the last one. Once my parents are actually going away, so maybe I can duck over there and do all the quilts from the book. Not that it would matter that they were there, but you know, I'm sure Mum would come in and interrupt. Although some have mentioned you wouldn't mind meeting her, that they're nicking off over to WA to Ningaloo, which I'm very jealous about. Today is the quilt that lives on my bed. A few people have mentioned they've seen, like, what do you mean? You've seen it. I've taken photos of my bedroom with my new lights and doing a cover, and people have mentioned the quilt. And it's fallen down here. The quilt is called A Wild Ride by Jen Kingwell. I actually got the pattern when I was working in her shop in Gardenvale just before they moved down to Torquay, and I was working there and I saw this quilt and I just loved it, and I thought it'd be a really great one to make out of all my scraps. So I tried not to use the same fabric twice, and I also tried to use a lot of my fabrics, so from all my different ranges. So for me this is kind of a bit of a, I've mixed it in with obviously lots of other designers, but for me it's a real memory quilt, and because it lives on my bed I'm always checking it out and seeing what I've done before. So you can see there's bits of everything in there. Like, it is basically a what can't you put in. One of the fun things I loved about this quilt was I treated each block as a little mini quilt, so I tried to coordinate the fabrics in it. I actually had made it to be 8 by 8, so and I was like, oh, that's not quite big enough, that's ridiculous, I need it to hang down on the side. So I went, right, I'll do 9 by 9, but then I realized that the pattern, if you want it, is actually 4. So then it was like, I remember I'd done the 8 by 8 and I thought, oh, I just need to do the 2 more rows, that's not too many blocks, a row on each side. And then I realized the pattern, it'd be an, you know, if I didn't include this one on the edge, it'd finish on an off block, which would be fine, but doesn't sit well in my head. So I then realised that I had to do 2 more rows, and I think I chucked it back in the cupboard for another 6 months, because pulling all the fabric out to cut each one is actually a really big job, and it you know, makes a lot of mess. So and I tried to cut all the last ones at the same time, and like I tried to do directional. So these ones on the outside, you can see here, there's some more of my fabric, they're all my fabrics, that stripes my fabric. Yeah, so, and that's one of my favourite fabrics ever. It's a little 1930 Scotty Doc. I've on the last little bit of that. Yeah, so, and lots of Tula Pink in there as well. Cotton and steels, everything. So it's a monster. It's a big quilt. I hold it up. The back is a mixture. So that's a Denise Schmidt fabric, and then this, I have a panel through the middle because it was so big it needed that extra, it needed 2 drops plus some. So I've got that print through the middle, which I quite like. I washed this without colour catches, so this was a black and white stripe binding, now it's a black and beige. I was a little bit disappointed, then I got over it, who cares. And the quilting is horizontal lines, but I've actually had to do quite a few repairs. My machine was playing up at the time and it didn't do a very good job. It was just before I replaced it actually, so my old Bonina. So I've had to do quite a few repairs on it, and I need to do a lot more, but you know, that's what happens. The batting I put in this one is cotton. I think it's the Quilter's Dream. So it's not too heavy, so a nice one to use in summer with a sheet under it. But there you go. So that's the pattern is A Wild Ride by Jen Kingwell. Oh look, there's my Maggies. And yeah, and I also want to say thank you to everyone. It's been a big job moving my business from just a retail to wholesale, so distributing myself. Thank you everyone that's placed an order. Thank you to all the shops that have placed an order. If you're interested, you can apply for a wholesale account. You can also just send me an email and or send me a message and I'll hook you up, and I would love to show you what's on my design wall over there. It's the next quilt. Orbital Star, fingers crossed, printer delivery comes hopefully today, tomorrow, early this week. There might be a delay, I don't know. Templates are ready to go, so I'm just about to launch. Jump on my mailing list if you want to be first to know. You can do that through the link on my profile page. And that's about it from me today. I'll catch you later. Bye.